Good morning, everybody. Here we are. It's Friday. I didn't think that would ever come. So today started extra early because of all this rain. And yesterday, so I'm a hot mess this morning. And yesterday it rained again. So I could not get out. Mow. Nighttime is the best time to do all that mowing. If you're not riding a mower, probably isn't the hottest day is probably not good, even if you're riding a riding mower. But I do mine at nighttime. But since it's rained so much, whew, my glasses are in the house. Since it's rained so much, I had to do it starting at 6:30 this morning. A lot of do. Let me tell you, a lot of do. I got 85% of the yard done. The dogs were outside playing. The goats and everybody's just sitting there watching me. They didn't scream at me like they were hungry because we know they're not. So goats always act like they're hungry, especially when they're used. If you scream at them, they're going to give you food. Well, we're slowly breaking them of that. And it's today is yesterday they didn't get any feed because the day before they did. Today they're going to get a dinner, a cup of feed in each bucket. Now it says, "Oh, that's cruel." It actually isn't. If it's just like you, if would you eat something in there that's not natural? Okay, a lot of feed for goats has sugar in it. Sugar is really not good for goats. Um, the best thing for a goat is all natural food. Now you live in an area because somebody brought this up, blue cactus, and I'm going to tell you something. She lives in the desert, everybody. She does have some roughage, but not a whole lot. And she uses that sparingly. And I do mean she has a pasture for it. And it's a treat to them. Otherwise, they get fed grain. And that's a very costly endeavor. Grain is anywhere from, depending on the grain, anywhere from $13 all the way up to 20 something dollars. Um, I you all see what grain I use, so it's really important to me to get my goats to a better habit. And a better habit is eating what nature provides for them. Now you can see here Ducky over here. Ducky's been out all morning. We walked the whole 5 acres this morning. We got apples off of the pigs, natural food. Okay. Goats can have pigs. Somebody's asked me, and there was a little fight and argument about that. They can have apples, but sparingly, very sparingly. Like the treats I have over here, they have apples in them, and they smell like apples. But those treats also have a probiotic in it, and they will get that today in their feed. So it's very important that, like this medicated pellets I have up here, in about 2 weeks, they'll get that in their feed. That's how I give them their medicine. I don't give them shots. I don't, because one is, I don't want to make that mistake, and people have, and then they no longer have their goat. So that's very important. He is just sleeping and humming away. I don't know if he's actually asleep, but that's his happy noise. And he's so cute when he does it. So yeah. Um, so I'm looking for pallets right now so I can, because it is rainy season. It's really not supposed to be rainy season here. We have a hurricane season not supposed to start to the end of August, but because of all the strange weather that's going on, we do. And believe me, I love it. My pecans are on schedule. The nuts about this big right now. The tusk are the outer layer for holding the nut developing inside. Um, so yeah, we're hoping to get a really good harvest this year. So we process them this year? We will do some. We will do some, and they would go in these 50-pound bags that over time that I have collected from buying feed. Well, someone says one of the questions was, why change your mind? I've always wanted my animals to eat what is natural to them. And when I first bought the place, ground hadn't been maintained. So I have been fertilizing naturally with animals, and of course mowing and mowing and mowing. If you see my pastures now, they are really nice and green. So right now I want to get in the back of the house, I want to get them back here in the wintertime. So they're going to need huts back there. I measured that this morning, that frame, to see if I can order and every one I found is slightly too small or way too big. So I need to find a tarp that will fit it as perfect as it could possibly be to go from side to side. And I will put something across the back for wind barrier. Um, so yeah, it was gray anyway. So I'm looking in white. I don't know. I think I'd rather have a white one than a blue or a green because they do come in multicolors. But what I'm looking at is extremely thick. They are extremely expensive. So that's what I want to put on that. That is an enclosure that's very important. And then the other two enclosures out in the middle of the pasture. One lady kept saying, I keep coming home, my goat's always outside. I said, see, please send me a picture of your pasture. Um, well, I said, are those houses movable? And she said, I guess so. I said, well, you're going to have to put them in the middle of your pasture. And she said, but that won't look good. Okay, it's not about looks, guys. It's about what goat needs. But if you're going to put an actual goat house where the goat can jump on it, the goat can get out. All right. And Sylvia doesn't need that. I'm going to tell you right now, Sylvia can jump any fence here and not need that because she wanted this tree that I had when I first got her. Yeah, she's my devil child. Me and my sister would not have believed it if we did not see her jump. And I have a five, comes here on me. Okay, and I'm 5'4". Jumped it with ease and walked right over to it and started eating. I'm sitting there like, what? So we put her back in there, which I wasn't too bad. And she just did it again. So, and she was pregnant when I got her. So a lot of people go, you don't know the heritage of your first set of your babies. Well, the only ones we have is Bam Bam. He's not related to any female here. His mother had passed. She evidently had health issues because his sister passed as well, all around the same time. We thought there was something in the pastures. Someone who's been watching the channel a while has noticed this. And I do make their announcements. And actually, I came out on live one day, and I think I never did one again. And there she was laying there inside the pen, and or the enclosure because they're not locked up. And I was very devastated. Matter of fact, we did the burial. Um, so, but before that, we had the vet come out. There was no, it's bloat, it's bloat, it's bloat. It wasn't bloat. They checked it all out. They thought it was a overbreeding of her. And of course, that was my first year with her. She came here in February, and 3 weeks later, she had her two children. One was Bam Bam, and the other one was Roxy. And they both, Wilma, Roxy passed away within 2 weeks of each other. So we want to make sure that whatever they had, they did not bring to any other animals. Another question is, do you always have to have a pair with your goat? It doesn't have to be another goat. It can be any animal, but preferably a goat. And if you do not want to breed your goats and they are just pets, look up someone who say, look, you have a goat, but can you, I don't want it to have babies, get the opposite sex. You can get the same sex if you're going to do that. Someone asked me about debudding. I don't believe in it. My goats, is say for Barney, Barney's budded. I didn't do that. Now, also, someone asked me, asked me about my horror story. You must have found a really old video. It was part of the old channel before someone got in there and deleted it. And so Barney's story is I bought him from a breeder, Barney and Bam Bam, Barney and Fred. And I thought, okay, because he's on a strict diet. And I'm sitting there going, so he's never really had grass or hay or anything for food. Yeah, he was an all grain goat. He was a baby, so it was easy to switch over. They were both debought. And you don't really actually debut them. You just stunt the growth and cut off what's grown. It's a bone, everybody. It will, because see, if you look closely at Barney, he's starting to he just won't have those points, that beautiful points. Anyway, the horror story is after I had Fred had been bred and had some amazing babies. I don't have any of them babies, but if you look back, they were like going boom. So I wanted to, people wanted to get, I said, sure. So I got the name of the parent. And then I said, well, can you give me the mom's registration number? That's all really mom and dad's registration number. And she stopped talking to me. So you can say I paid quite a bit for those two. And that's the horror story. That is, so if you're buying a goat for whatever reason to keep your pasture equalized, to equalize your farm balance, to milk, to have babies and sell as pets, which I do. Um, there are amateur shows for little kids that you don't need all that registration papers and all that stuff, because I think that just spoils it. Um, so yeah, a lot of people may know all this already, but I have to honestly say, a lot of people have their goats make their soap, or they buy the stuff from me to make their soap. So there you go. Um, it is very hard to freeze, and hopefully the goat milk will get to you in a good amount of time. And if you're willing to buy fresh goat milk, it's very costly. Remember that. So also, okay, get back to the goats and why I'm doing what I'm doing. They are a lot healthier. I still have all my babies from the last litter. I want them to be much older. I want them to be this, eating from the ground. I don't want them to be dependent on grain. I want them to be as healthy as possible. They do not get shots from me, but they do get medication. They're on a regimen of healthy food, natural food that's planted out there in that pasture. And yes, it took me 2 years to get that pasture the way I wanted it, because I've been here three now. So when I bought the property, and they said, well, they had goats in there. The previous people did not balance the growth of wheat type of plants growing in there. So they had a variety of eats. And there are plants the goats will not eat. Okay. They won't eat. I can tell you that right now. I got them. So that's Friday. I hope you enjoy this video. If you want to see more, hit like, subscribe. And maybe I'll have Ducky out later and we can take another stroll around the property, and you can see how this crazy duck is better than a dog. See, going to sleep, having a great time. I will bring him up here, but he is asleep. Isn't that so cool? Such my bud. So I hope I answered the questions that people have asked me. If you have more questions, please answer me. Oh, yeah, ask me. Sorry. Thank you all for all the new members on my page. I really do appreciate it, and helping the page grow. But also, yes, my neighbors are amazing. Whenever you need anything, they are there. That road there is, I was leaving my road that my farm is attached to. And this man is amazing. He will, every few days, he'll probably go out tomorrow and do it again. And we don't have nobody else. It's all private roads. Nobody else but us farmers. There are a horse farm, a sheep farm, a cow farm. You can see behind me, a goat farm. That's me. So we depend on each other. We depend on each other. He's also where I buy my hay. He only sells within the farm, this farm community. My eggs are the same way. Now they might buy for other people and give it to them. That's fine. Um, so yeah, um, someone's asked some amazing questions with those little cute little videos. So, and Ducky is a runner duck and will not look like a Peking duck or a mallard. He will not be real big, or she will not be real big. She will be long. She's designed to be on the water. So, yeah. Hopefully, in the next few days, and weather cools down as July ends and August begins. Uh, someone someone asked me, "Oh, it's a good question. When does school start here?" I have grandchildren, but they're back in school next week, the first of the next month, actually. And yeah, but we get out of school like May here, and our summers start in Georgia April here and go all the way up to Christmas. We have very warm Christmases here. It took me a little bit to adjust to that, and my husband, who was stationed in Hawaii, said, "Ooh, it feels like Hawaii." So I wouldn't know. I've never been to Hawaii. But yes, Jackie will follow me everywhere. Thank you for the question. He's When I'm standing still, he's right there between my legs. I have to be extra careful with him, and he's out. He keeps up with me. He's absolutely amazing. But today was supposed to be about the goats and how they're doing and why I'm taking away feed, which is when you have 5 acres like I do. I don't have 50 goats. 50 goats would clear that pasture in 2 days and there'd be nothing left. I have a nice balance of goats. I should never have more than 15 because I have 5 acres. And like you said, I'm going to be fencing off the front and finishing the side. They will have access, not on an everyday basis, but they will have access to those areas when time comes. So it's rotation. I've had to shut off the big pasture, put them back behind the house because I have plants that I planted there in the spring and let them grow so they have a variety of food. So, yes, the babies will be put up for discussion, probably not until like January. Um, and they will have a health check. They will, they will be almost adults. And since, yeah, but yes, uh, Fred, who passed away, uh, it's the neighbor's fault. The guy didn't, as a worker, he was putting spraying something on the opposite side of the fence. I said, "Don't spray here." Didn't really understand me. The gentleman who owns the farm was wanting to replace Fred, but you can't replace Fred. Fred was my love of my life. If you watch all my videos, he would just love on me, sit on my lap, lay just like Barney does. So, yeah. So it's very important for me to get them back to nature when it comes to feeding. So I hope this answered any questions. Facebook, I know a lot of you guys send me Facebook private messaging on my crazy little homestead. You can ask them here. So that's fine. You can ask them in any form you want. I have no problem. No problem. No problem. All right. Ta ta for now. Ducky, I need coffee. Yes, I do.